Well, guys, there's nothing interesting today. I struggled to find a decent enough topic until Charlie uploaded a video talking about how Microsoft finally bought Activision and it finally went through. So now legally, they now own Activision. So I think it's been around like a year ever since they tried to buy Activision. So since, they bought it technically, they just had some legal trouble, with the government since this was, the government thought that this was like a hostile takeover or a monopoly, even though, acquiring Activision isn't really that fucking big. I mean, it is big for us since they got Bethesda and everything, but really, truly how big is Activision outside of the US? I know they got a pretty big market share in China too, but, that's China. Who gives a flying fuck? And really the only company that I'm aware of that's been pissy about this acquirement of Activision has been fucking Sony, of course. They're trying to defend their title. They're trying to defend, their almost monopoly on the console market. And, they've been just being a bitch about it. They've been crying and moaning to all the governments in the world. They've been crying and moaning to Japan. They've been crying and moaning to the UK. They've been crying and moaning in here. And, they can't just stop bitching and moaning. See, obviously, Sony is way too big for Microsoft acquiring Activision for them to really worry about it too much. Of course, they would worry about it, but, for them to worry this much and complain to all the governments in the world, it seems a little too much, especially when buying Activision doesn't really mean, immediate, growth, immediate, boost in market share. It just means that they just acquired a small part of the market share. You do realize that Sony owns a shitload of other companies too, and they've made billions of dollars every single year off of these games. Anyways, I don't really care all that much. It is pretty big for gaming and stuff, but only really for console gaming. If you do PC gaming or whatever, then, it's not going to apply to you that much. You might get, exclusives for Xbox or something like that, or some new IPs. You might even get Call of Duty exclusive, but that's damn near impossible. I guarantee Microsoft won't do that. Watch me say that and them somehow making Call of Duty an exclusive title for Xbox. And you know what? I guarantee if Sony tried to do the same thing with Activision, they would have no protests. Everybody would thought it was cool and stuff. But since it was Microsoft, and Microsoft has a pretty bad reputation when it comes to monopolies and hostile takeovers, the government was on this immediately whenever Microsoft tried to do, the smallest thing, acquire the smallest, companies and shit, and they're pissing their pants. The government thinks that they're trying to take over the world or something like that. If you're not aware, there was a massive fucking antitrust law case against the United States and Microsoft Corporation. And this basically defines, whether a company can acquire this much, businesses, startup businesses, tech companies and all that stuff. Tech and the internet was still extremely new at the time. So the government was going into uncharted territory with this. And so the U.S. government has been closely watching Microsoft make sure they don't do this shit again. Microsoft isn't as big as they used to, or they might be a little bit bigger, but they have bigger companies competing with them now. And just everything about that, it's just come on. Microsoft doesn't have that much leverage anymore. They can't just acquire anything anymore. They're not as big as Google or all these other big fat tech companies. Let's be real here. And this whole thing is just an L, PlayStation fans, W for the Xbox gang, man. Anyways, like what I said earlier, I don't think that much is going to change. Really, if they just kept the things the way they're going, maybe make things a little bit better, maybe put in a few new exclusive on the Xbox or something like that, then, their profits are going to stay the same, maybe even a little higher. Right now, Activision is making so much money, it's crazy. Anyways, that's it for today. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe, and comment what you think about the whole situation. Comment down below if you're an Xbox or PlayStation fan. Personally, I'm more of an Xbox guy. But, just subscribe, like the video, and tomorrow I'll come back with another banger. See you guys. Oh my god!